And to piggyback off of what Sister Holly said, when Sister Becky asked me to do this, I said in my head, I said no, absolutely not. She did not know, but I was actually going through one of the worst spiritual fights that I had ever been through, and so I really wanted to say no, I'm not worthy. Please pick someone else. And then I thought, well, I mean, this was several months before the actual event, and I thought it won't come together, and so, you know, it'll be forgotten about, and we'll move on, and I won't have to deal with it. And so, anyway, I'm not a speaker. My husband's a really good speaker. I wish he would have came. No, but anyway, I was looking at your yes, I have your phone. And so, anyway, like I said, in the last few months, I've been going through a terrible time spiritually. And so that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about, a spirit of infirmity, and that could be depression, anxiety, sickness, strongholds, anger. Those are all things that I deal with personally. Without Jesus, the farther I get away from Jesus, the worse those things get, of course. And so I have been going through this terrible time, and I found this scripture, and it really spoke to me, and so I just wanted to share it with you. It's Luke 13:10 through 13, and it says, "Now he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath, and behold, there was a woman who had a spirit of infirmity 18 years. She was bent over and could in no way raise herself up. But when Jesus saw her, he called her to him and said to her, 'Woman, you are loosed from your infirmity.' And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight and glorified God." And so I have listened, I was actually listening to a sermon that used that scripture, and I think I've listened to it 562,000 times in the last 2 months. And that scripture really speaks to me. And so, anyway, I just want to kind of start with, my life has kind of been like a roller coaster the last couple of years. And I don't really like roller coasters at amusement parks, and so roller coasters in life are really unwelcome. But anyway, it happens, right? And so, not too long ago, when Miss Becky asked me this, in my spiritual walk, I was bent over. Spiritually, I was bent over, and I was losing my way, honestly. So we've had some crazy things that happened to us. For first of all, any of y'all that know me or know my husband, he was in a terrible accident in 2019 and broke both of his legs. He wasn't able to walk, and then they thought that he was going to lose one of his legs, and he's been through 10 surgeries, and then the doctors had said that he would never be made whole again. That he would never be the same. And so lots of prayers later and lots of surgeries later, he's up on his feet, he's walking. The doctors still say there's nothing more they can do, but we're believing that God's still with us. Amen. So we're believing in that. So my husband, he's the rock, he's the provider, the man of the house, and he was in a horrible accident and has lost his ability to work. And so because of that, we were not able to afford some things. So the first thing that went was my vehicle. I had a Yukon, and it was ridiculous, and I didn't need it anyway, but anyway, we couldn't afford it, so we sold it and got rid of it. Which is okay, that life happens, that happens. And so that was like the first thing that kind of took me by surprise. Well, his accident, and then there was that. And then we got back on track. I was working part-time at the time, and then my job gave me promotion. I went to working full-time, and that came with a huge monthly bonus, and everything was going really good. And so we had decided at that time it would be okay for me to get a new vehicle. And so I got this new vehicle, and it was actually like my dream vehicle, And so we got this new vehicle, and I only had it for a couple of months. And coming home from Paducah, we hit a deer and wrecked it. And I know that's material things, but like when it's like one thing after another, you're like, my goodness, geez Louise. So I thought, okay, this is it. This is the worst that can happen. We've gone through my husband's accident. I lost one vehicle. I just wrecked another vehicle. And so I thought this has got to be the end of it. Well, it wasn't, but 2 months after that, the job that I had for 7 years, I lost it unexpectedly. blow, because that was really like the only real stable thing that I had in my life at that time. I felt like I could count on that job every day, and so I had lost my job. Well, that was a hard blow. You know, that I was slightly bent over after that. I have a lot of experience in work. I've worked like my whole life, it feels like. But anyway, a lot of people in the community know me, and it wasn't but a week that I had found a new job, and I was super excited about it. This job, I swear, came straight from heaven, what I thought, because I was off on Fridays. So I'm like, 3-day weekend, sign me up. I'll work here forever. You got me forever. Well, that was going pretty well. I loved my coworkers. They seemed to really like me. It was an easy job, and I was feeling pretty confident, feeling relaxed, feeling at ease, feeling like things were going good again. And someone who told someone who told someone who told their hairdresser a lie, she decided that, okay, so this hairdresser, God bless her, touch her Lord, she said that she had prayed over this gossip, and the Lord had told her to tell my new employer about it.
Oh my.
So, this was just crazy, okay? It's crazy, y'all. And that new employer let me go without fact checking a thing. So at that point, that was it for me. I was pretty much done. I was bent over, I was depressed, I was hurt, I was angry, I had completely lost my mind. I actually wanted to beat this lady up, okay? So, I'm like putting on my tennis shoes and I'm gonna go to her house and I'm gonna straighten this out, okay? But, Nicholas is like, my husband, God bless him, he's such a sweet man. He's like, no honey, we can't do that.
But why not?
So, yeah, why not? I'm just gonna lay my hands on her for just a minute. Yes, Jesus. So anyway, I was bent over spiritually. And some of those things might seem really small, but it seemed like it was just one hit after another, and we just couldn't get it straight. And so I was done, and at this point, I was like, I wasn't mad. I didn't blame Jesus. I wasn't mad at the Lord for those things happening, but I was just done. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go to church. I was fighting with my husband. He wanted to preach to me all the time. I wasn't having it. I didn't want to hear it. He was like, fast and pray. And I'm like, go over there. I don't want to do that. And, I just didn't want to help myself. I know that my peace and my strength lays in the Lord, that he does that for me, but I just didn't want to. I was in such an attitude that I was just like, no, I'm done. And so, anyway, spiritually, I was bent over, I was doubled over, I was sick, I was depressed, I was sad, I was angry, and I was just lost, honestly, I was just lost. And our church has a weekly prayer meeting. Every Thursday night they have a prayer meeting. And I think they had it, 4 weeks already, and I had not attended. I was said, listen, I go to church on Wednesday nights, I go to church on Sunday nights, I'm not going 7 nights a week, I'm not doing it. Bad attitude to have, by the way. And so I think they were coming out on their 5th week, and my husband wanted me to go, but I always had an excuse on Thursday nights. And this particular Thursday night, I had a weight loss event thing in Cape that I was going to go to. And so I was in the bathroom and I was getting ready and I was doing my hair and getting dressed up and stuff, and I was almost ready, and I got a phone call from the clinic that said unexpectedly they were going to have to cancel the event. And so I come stomping out that bathroom mad, and like it was his fault, which it kind of was in a way. I'll tell you about that. I come stomping out of that bathroom, and I was so mad because I wasn't going to get to go to the event, and then even more mad because now I didn't have an excuse not to go to the prayer meeting. And so he's like, good, you can go to the prayer meeting. Well, come to find out, Nicholas had gathered a small army of people to fast and pray that event would be canceled. Yes, that event would be canceled, and it was. And so the next day, our next service, when I seen one of the friends of Nicholas's that I knew had been fasting, I went straight up to him and I said, stuck my finger at him, and I was like, don't you be. No, but he did good. He did really good. It turned out to be a good thing. So anyway, I did attend the prayer meeting that night, and unworthy, and I was just, when I went, I was like, move me if you can, type spirit, good luck, I'm here, I'm here, but I wasn't really there. But it wasn't very long. During our prayer services, we just play worship music, and we all pray on our own. You go to a corner, you pray over the pews, you pray for each other, however you feel led to pray. It wasn't very long that God called me. And I could hear him very loudly say, "Woman, you know that your peace lies within me. And I know that you're going through all these things, but I got you. You just have to let me do it." And from that very night, when God touched me, everything changed. And my situation didn't change. I still didn't have a job. I still didn't have a vehicle. But he changed the way I felt about those situations. He changed the way I could handle them. And so what I started to do, because just to be honest, I didn't live in the happiest of homes. So one of my favorite, I wouldn't say favorite, but the emotion that I'm probably best at is anger. And so I know that I have a little slight bit of a temper, and that I have to keep that under subjection. And so one of the ways that I found to help me is every single morning I listen to worship music and I listen to a sermon while I'm getting ready for work, and that kind of sets me up for the day. And so I've been doing that every day since. And so every morning I'm very dedicated to getting up, because I feel like if I expect for God to meet me and to be with me and to help me, then I need to give him my time. And it took that moment at that prayer meeting I've gone to church. I've gone to church for 14 years, and there's a difference between sitting in the pew and going through the motions and actually having a relationship with God. And at that prayer meeting, that's when I first found my first relationship with God. And so, anyway, I'm still doing that every morning. I get up, and I'm telling you honestly, which I'm probably going to be tested on this now, you could catch my car on fire now, and I'd be like, it's okay. God's going to take care of it. And that's only because God's given me true peace through this circumstance. And so I just want to read that scripture again. Now he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath. And behold, there was a woman who had a spirit of infirmity for 18 years. She was bent over and could in no way raise herself up. But when Jesus saw her, he called her to him and said to her, "Woman, you are loosed from your infirmity." He said he had laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight and glorified God. And so, through my testimony, I've learned that everyone is going through something. Everyone in the whole world is going through something. And so I really tried to make myself I wanted to show more compassion, more empathy to others, and let them know that they're not alone. And so I wanted to share that, because we're all women here. Well, is your dad? Oh, Dad's gone. We're all women here, and so I just feel like that's really important, that if you feel like you're going through any kind of stress or trial or struggle, or you failed God, that God is literally saying to you, "Woman, you're loose. You don't have to stay this way. That I have your answer." And then to me, like, going through this, I know that I'm not going through it alone. Just like my husband, previously to being saved and before his accident, a lot of y'all may know that he was a drug addict, and had dealt with that for many, many years. And there's tons of people that go through that in their families and their loved ones. And one thing that I would always say to them, that when he got rescued and redeemed, that's not just for Nicholas. God didn't just do that for him. He can do that for everyone. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all, that if you're going through something and it seems like like it's hard, it's impossible, and there's no way out, that God can do the same thing for you. He is your peace and your strength and your love and your mercy. And I don't know, that scripture, I guess just the way I hear it, it's like, woman,
Yes.
woman. Like, he had to get on that level with me. Listen, lady, I got you. And so, anyway, I didn't talk on any of my notes, by the way, in case y'all wonder. I got 775,000 pages of words that I didn't read a single one of them. But anyway, that's just how it goes. So I wanted to thank Miss Becky for having me here, even though when she asked, I knew I was so unworthy. I was so unworthy to be here. But God's been so good to me.
Yes.
He's been so good to my family. It's just crazy when you think about like honestly, my husband, he lost his job. He was the breadwinner for our family, and it could have been really bad. To think about it, we never not had a bill paid. We never went hungry. We had everything that we needed. And you know that all was because of God.
Yes.
And so if you're going through anything in your life, just lean on the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Lean on the Lord. I know that sounds simple, or like you want some greater answer, because that's what I wanted. I wanted my husband to be like, I'm going to fix this. Instead of preaching to me, I wanted him to go and fix it. But God is the answer, and I truly believe him. If you start your day with prayer and worship and listening to a sermon, or however you get your praise on, I think that changes your whole outlook on your day. So I'm not a Bible scholar, I'm not a speaker at all, but I just wanted to share my testimony and what I was going through, in hopes that it could help someone else, because I know we're all going through things. Life is hard. Life's so hard, and I feel like for women especially, because we're so tied to our emotions, that we can get caught up in our emotions for sure. But anyway, if you want to write it down, I think that Luke 10 through 13 is an amazing scripture. It has helped me. I have repeated it over and over and over again. Many times in the last few months. So thank y'all for having me here, and God bless you.